I'm going to introduce you to a brother who, at the age of 34, is learning how to read.
What's up? I can't read, but that's all right. Because if you've been following along, you know we're on a journey to fix that.
Okay, that is 34-year-old Oliver James. He is truly an inspiration. He's now a TikTok sensation, and he's not alone. James is actually one of 8 million Americans who are functionally illiterate. But he is the only one I know who's been so publicly open about it, and who has invited all of the world through social media to come along on his journey toward literacy as he continues to teach himself how to read. Oliver James, my brother, thank you for joining me on The Griot, man. It is an honor to have you here. Your story, as I told you off air, it's amazing. It's inspirational. I'm proud of you, man, and it resonates with me, man. What's it been like? Tell me about your journey.
I'll be honest, it's been kind of magical. I get to come on shows and talk about something I have no idea about. I'm teaching myself how to read. I don't even know if there's a playbook or anything for this. I'll be honest. The only thing you can really do is look back at history and just say, don't repeat it. So I just sit around every day and get up and try to take it one day at a time. Learning to read is not just learning to read. My whole entire identity is changing.
That's powerful, man. First, talk to me about what made you do it now.
There's many, many reasons as I start going on, but the biggest one is just not repeating history. My whole family suffers from this. I can see in some way, in some sort of way. There's no books being passed around. And it just not something I wanted to repeat. I wanted my children to have an opportunity. And the only way to give it to them is to show them. But how am I going to show them if I don't know how to do it? And I can see you were just going to repeat history again and have another generation of people who probably can't read in your life.
How did you navigate your early sort of childhood experiences, school, all those things?
It's hard to look at it now and talk about it, but you just made it up. I got up every day and I just went out the front door and made it up. Anything I can get my hands on, any food, I would knock on, local halfway houses and ask them for a plate of food sometimes for, on breakfast when I'm on my way to school. Like, you just made it up. You knock on people's doors, and if you knew them, and be like, can I get a plate of food? Like, that was life. You just figuring it out. And to me, that was normal.
No, I was just going to say, in the process of doing that, I guess finding time to read or even having the ability to access, those things is probably a real challenge. I can't even imagine, man. You talk about your identity changing as you learn to be able to read. Who were you and who are you becoming?
Well, it's hard to explain. When it comes to books, you can be anything you want to be. When you start learning to read, who I was just like, I was equivalent to a Frankenstein. Let's just say something like that.
And now that you're reading, first of all, let me ask you another question first. What was the first thing you read that you felt confidence in? Like, you read it's like, I got this one.
Oh, probably The Giving Tree. Yeah. It packed a good message, and it wasn't such a big book, but
Yeah. No, it's a powerful message. You don't need a big book to have a big message. So, that's amazing to me. And what's opened up for you since you started to read? What have you felt? What have you experienced? What's different?
well, on the surface level, opportunity. Any opportunity that you didn't have before is an opportunity now. Jobs, financial, relationships. There's things that change when you learn how to read. Internally, internal monologue, intrusive thoughts. Who knows? It can go on and on. Movie images that can pop up into your mind that you didn't have before.
Yeah. I could imagine a whole new. You said a whole new world is there. One of the things that I've noticed about you is that you're so transparent, and you're also so vulnerable. I mean, a lot of people don't get to see a brother out here being emotional, being raw at times in terms of how you're feeling. Uh, why did you decide to share these parts of yourself and your experience with the world?
Well, I can guarantee you, as a black person, you already understand this is embedded into our culture. And I wanted to show the side that is really like expresses a black man. It's emotions. It's all emotions. We all tied up in a lot of emotions because of things we weren't allowed to do or things we can do, whatever it is. And when I felt it, I felt it. And I was like, the only way I'm going to learn to read is to cry. If I don't cry, I'm just going to put this on every single person like I've been doing it. So you got to cry to let it go. But that's not taught in our
Brother,
culture.
that's a psychological intervention. That is a spiritual analysis. That's a whole sermon right there. Sometimes you got to cry to let it go, Doc. You got so much wisdom and so much insight. I can't wait to see what the next steps on your journey are, because as you grow and learn, we grow and learn. You are an inspiration, and I am so grateful for you, my brother. Congratulations on everything you've done so far. Everybody, make sure you follow this brother. You can join Oliver on his journey. His TikTok handle is Oliver Speaks 1.